Coping with COVID-19, brought to you by Guardian Group. Live easy.
We're back, and this is the Now Morning Show. And as we continue to keep you abreast of what's happening with the COVID-19 coronavirus, we are now going to go across to Europe, where we have father and daughter on the line. Aman Wakayo is in Germany, and Lisa, his daughter, is in France. So good morning to you both. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
All right, so I'm going to start with Lisa. You're in France, yes? What's happening?
Yes,
Because the epicenter is now moved to the U.S., but Italy is still an area for concern, and Europe has been a bit on lockdown recently. So what's going on where you are, Lisa?
Yes, so it's actually been just a little bit more than 2 weeks since Macron gave his speech and we went into official school canceling and quarantine. And in the beginning, I remember coronavirus became a thing only in the end of February when students who'd been in spring break came back to France. And at that point, I think we all took it a little bit more lightly than we now in retrospect should have, because it was more this thing of there was very random and select cases in Italy, and some people were for preventative measures going into quarantine. But now it has accelerated quite quickly, and for 2 weeks we've been in quarantine, and it has gotten stricter and stricter also in terms of how long you can leave your house, what you can leave your house for, how far away you can go from your house. You used to be able to go how far you want. Now it's 1 kilometer, and also time limits.
Yeah, it's just 1 kilometer away from your house. You're saying that you're allowed to go, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk to Aman. You're in Germany and you're also a nurse, so that means you are actually working in the system. Tell me what's going on where you are.
I work in a hospital. I'm an ICU nurse. We are prepared very well because we learned from Spain and Italy a lot. And the Germans are doing very well. We have more ICU section, and the problem is getting more and more, but now we are just quite okay.
Now, when the German chancellor said it was time to stay at home, what was the response of the Germans? Did you have a situation where persons were ignoring the law, or did persons hunker down and stay at home?
Yes, some people, the young ones, especially the young ones, they didn't take it seriously. But the old ones, they just understood it and they stayed at home. The young ones, they just go out for football or a party sometimes. At the beginning, it was not that much serious, but after they saw what's happening in Spain and in Italy especially, they started to listen to the government, and they just follow everything what they say.
And Lisa, you're one of the young ones. So why were the young people not taking it seriously?
Because we did a mistake. I think the media made a mistake at the first time. They said the young ones are not that much, they will not get that much problems with the ventilation or something like that. That's why the young ones, they said, I am just okay. If something will happen, I will be survive, and then can I do what I want?
Yeah.
But this was a very, very not good way. How the media just tell us at the beginning what is going on.
Yeah, I want to go across to Lisa now. So Lisa, you give me can you weigh in on that? Why you think the young people were not listening and where you were?
I think I agree with that. I think in the beginning, young people took it lightly because they also saw, and it was portrayed in the media, that this is predominantly dangerous for older people and not for people who are under 50 years old and who are relatively healthy. But we've been seeing that cases include people from, I'm not 35 yet either, but from 35, 40 years old, and that in fact it's not just a disease for older people. And I think it really took also an awareness to build that solidarity. Because I feel for us, for example, we got that message that our school is cancelled, and then there was this movement of everyone saying goodbye. So I think in that moment, people were focused on coronavirus, but also trying to get home before the borders are closing down, moving out of your apartment. And I think only after it sunk in, after a few days, people realized, okay, this is serious. We need to conform to these rules.
So you're a student and you are now doing online classes. What is that like?
Trying at times because my internet is not always ideal. But so far, we are done with our first week of online classes, and so far, so good. I think the institution is really trying to do the best given the circumstances. So we're all on Zoom now and trying to make the best out of the situation.
I understand that in Europe, I mean, Trinidad and Tobago, thankfully, we didn't even think about those things. But I understand there were Corona parties at the beginning of this.
That is
Lisa?
true. Like,
Yeah.
I've heard, and like not in my immediate friend circle that I'm personally aware of, but I've seen on Facebook, and I've seen like, I think in the beginning, people were really just very desensitized and very like also irresponsible, comparing, like not taking into account how this affects society. Because when looking at like the data and when looking at everything, yes, if young people come together and have a corona party, chances are they are going to be okay, and coronavirus will be like a light fever for them.
Oh.
But the people they're going to be in contact with, their neighbors, their grandmas, the people at the grocery stores, those are the people who might be endangering without really noticing.
All right. So we have just 1 minute to the top. What is happening now where you are? Is it what's going on right now in France and in Germany? Lisa, you go first.
Oh, right now we are still on lockdown. It was supposed to last 2 weeks, but we're thinking it's going to get prolonged. So it will be in the end 40 to 50 days.
Yeah.
Yes, the rules have gotten stricter since people keep breaking them. And there are fines if you are, so you have to fill out a paper and ask official permission to go outside and justify where you're going. And it can only be the doctor, the grocery store, or short physical activity 1 kilometer around your house. If you break that, you will get fined. And so we are all, but I would say to a great extent, people are really sticking to it because they've realized that only if all of us stick it out together and wait for these next coming weeks, we'll be able to get ahead of coronavirus.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. I'm not going to get to talk finally to you, Aman, but I want to thank you very much for joining us, both Aman and Lisa Wakayo, Aman in Germany and Lisa in France. Thank you very much, guys, and please be safe. We got to kick it upstairs now to the top of the hour where we have our news on standby.
Coping with COVID-19, brought to you by Guardian Group. Live easy.